latest updates, subscribe to News 9.
Hello, you're watching News 9 Digital. I am Abhijit Singh Bhamra and today's topic of discussion is RCB's very own cricket's 360-degree man AB de Villiers. Why is ABD in the news back amidst COVID-19 pandemic? What is it that ABD has said that has shocked the whole cricketing fraternity, and whether his comments is likely to hurt cricket South Africa? I'll tell you all this and more in this video. Well, former South African cricketer and RCB's very own Abraham Benjamin de Villiers is all over the internet today. Why? Because of his latest comments. Now, what comments has he made? Well, AB de Villiers retired from international cricket in May 2018, just after the IPL, and everyone was shell-shocked after listening to his retirement video. Now, he was just 33 when he actually retired from the sport, and now, 2 years later, AB de Villiers has come out and said the major reason as to why he did farewell from the sport which he truly loves. What was the reason? Let's listen into ABD. That really wore me down a touch, but I kept playing. I tried to bite the bullet. I tried to be there. I was batting really well. I still had incredible friendships and memories. From a personal point of view, yeah, it played a huge role. We got beaten by sport on the night, and it was actually a beautiful thing, but it was difficult for me to get through that year and to specifically meet up with the team again a few months later, having to go again. Here we go again. We have to restart, but I'm like, hold on, I'm not over this World Cup. It hurt too much. So yes, I am sensitive, and those kind of things play a huge role in how I feel and my ambitions. So it was the 2015 World Cup semi-final between South Africa and New Zealand, which was the major reason behind ABD's retirement. According to ABD, it was the game which triggered his retirement from international cricket, which he eventually took 3 years later. Because what was he doing in these 3 years of time? Did thoughts of retirement actually came after the game, or was it a sudden decision? Why is ABD so hurt after retiring from the sport after 2 years? Here's ABD explaining it. The next 12 months was really tough for me. Maybe I should have been more honest about it when I look back and communicated about it. I felt like I was a little bit alone at the time. But it's silly to say that you are alone if you don't seek help, if you don't talk about it. If I could have it over again, I would probably open up discussions with the coach, administrators, and discuss my way forward. I should have shared my emotions with them and things that bothered me. I didn't. As and when the Grant Elliott 6 over long on hit the ropes, it was all over for South Africa, but more so for ABD. ABD almost knew that it was his last chance to represent South Africa at the world stage. Yes, he did play in the 2017 Champions Trophy, but as far as the 50-over World Cup is concerned, the setback which he received after the loss at the hands of Black Caps, well, it was just too much for ABD to take. AB de Villiers started off his international career in December 2004, and his career lasted for close to 14 seasons. During this journey, he scored runs in all the countries and enthralled cricket fans with his batting brilliance. He scored 47 international hundreds for South Africa and averaged over 50 runs per innings in both Test matches and ODIs. Overall, the right-hander scored over 18,000 runs in international cricket. Clearly, ABD is one of the legends of the sport, the man who can play all the shots around the park, the 360-degree man who has given countless memories to billions and billions of fans, not just in India but around the world. But it was indeed a sad end to an international career which could have been elongated to even 2020, who knows. But you know what? ABD is not the only sports person who has taken this sudden retirement from cricket. There has been a plethora of cricket stars, and that too some settled stars. And I'll tell you who are those cricketers in my next offering. So let's start with the Maharaja of Indian cricket, Saurav Chandidas Ganguly. The great man staged a comeback after getting dropped from Team India in 2005 during the Chappell era. He staged a comeback in 2006 And what did he do after 2 seasons? Well, he announced his retirement just before the start of the 2008 Border Gavaskar Trophy, which was played in India. He said that I had enough and I'm going to retire on my own terms. He scored 100 in Mohali and India lifted the Border Gavaskar Trophy. But most importantly, it was the end of one of the greatest leaders of Indian cricket. He captained India in 49 matches, and in the last moments also, Dhoni asked him to captain the side as well. But he also admitted after the end of the series that he could have played for 1 or 2 seasons, but he wanted to retire on his own terms, which he did eventually. Sourav Ganguly is one of the legends of the game and represented India in over 400 matches in a career which lasted for 16 long years. He scored over 18,000 runs with 38 international hundreds and also led Team India for close to 5 years. Especially in the white ball format, Sourav was a force to reckon with and scored runs in every part of the world. So the next person on the list is the man who succeeded Sourav Ganguly at the helm. Yes, it's MS Dhoni. Well, Mahendra Singh Dhoni's sudden retirement from Test cricket came in December 2014 after India registered a draw at the Boxing Day Test match in Melbourne against the Baggy Greens. Well, no one saw this coming, not even his own teammates, because MS Dhoni had already decided in his mind that he is going to retire from Test cricket at the end of the Test match. He played 90 Test matches for India and out of those 60 came as captain. So that just tells you the tenure he had or he enjoyed as the Indian team captain. He could have continued and nobody would have stopped him. He could have played over 100 matches, but he decided to make way for others to come in so that Indian cricket moved forward. That's MS Dhoni for you. Let's talk about one more wicketkeeper batsman, this time from Australia. His name is Adam Gilchrist and is arguably one of the greatest wicketkeeper batsmen of all time. He just terrorized the opposition bowlers with his batting, at that too in the lower batting in the lower half of the Australian batting lineup with all those tail-enders. But it was just one instance, dropping a catch of the bowling of Andrew Bickle in the Adelaide Test match of VVS Lakshman, that prompted Adam Gilchrist that his time was up. Yes, dropping just one single catch prompted Adam Gilchrist that it is time for him to step down or rather retire from Test cricket. Former Australian wicketkeeper batsman Adam Gilchrist butchered the best of attacks during his time with his batting and changed the role of a wicketkeeper batsman for cricketing world. He featured in close to 400 matches for Australia between 1999 and 2008 and scored over 14,000 runs. When it came to Gilly, it was never about averages, but was more about the impact which he generated at the top of the order for Australia. He gave Australia some numerous memories and some brilliant hundreds, but most importantly, it is his legacy that he changed the role of a wicketkeeper batsman is what he will always be remembered for. From one left-hander to another, this time I'll go to South Africa, and I'm talking about former South African skipper Graeme Smith. Well, his sudden retirement came in March 2014, and that too in the middle of a series against Australia. Like MS Dhoni, he had already decided that he will not just step down from the post of captaincy, but also make way for other cricketers to come forward. Graeme Smith's career kicked off in 2002 and lasted till 2013, and during that time, he scored over 16,000 runs in international cricket for South Africa. He was also the captain of the side across all 3 formats for a considerable period of time, which makes these numbers even more special. He scored 37 international 100, led South Africa from the front and averaged over 30 at least in all 3 formats, which is a testimony to the consistency which the Southpaw showed during his international career. He didn't do well in the last series against Australia, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that he will go down as one of the greatest leaders of cricket and also one of the giants of South African cricket. Last but not the least comes a flamboyant and enthralling but a true entertainer of the sport in the form of Brendan McCullum. Yes, the former New Zealand skipper was dashing. He just terrorized the opposition bowling lineups, but most importantly stood as a symbol of playing the game hard but fair. His last Test match or Test outing came at Christchurch, And he too retired from the sport at the age of 34, and he could have easily gone on to play at least for another couple of seasons. But he made the occasion extra special by scoring the fastest 100 in Test match cricket against Australia in Christchurch, which is also his hometown. Flamboyance was his second name, but former New Zealand captain Brendan McCullum gave his fans plenty of enthralling moments in all the three formats of the game. He finished his career with over 300 international matches for the Black Caps, which witnessed him raising his bat on 19 occasions after reaching the three-figure mark. He is one of those rare batsmen to have scored a ton across all three formats and averaged over 30 or more in each and every format. So how did you like this video? Do you think that there is a particular age which should be associated with retirement? Or do you think that it is just that one split second which the sportsperson needs to recognize in order to take retirement from the sport? Well, do send in your comments and feedback, and I'll be looking forward to the same. In the meantime, do not forget to subscribe to News9 Digital across all social media platforms.